If you're a user of Authy and you're not aware, it goes end of life as of March the 19th, 2024. By end of life, it's the desktop application that goes end of life. You'll still be able to use the iOS versions and the Android versions. If you're using a desktop authenticator, or you prefer to use a desktop authenticator, then you might want to be looking at moving away from Authy, as I am. So let me just switch over real quick. This is the Authy bulletin. So user guide, end of life EOL for Twilio Authy desktop app. The Authy desktop apps for Windows and macOS that are available or were previously downloaded from authy.com/download, as well as those for Linux, will reach their end of life on March the 19th, 2024. And you can see Authy recommendations. We strongly recommend that you immediately switch to using the mobile applications instead. And then they've got the QR codes that you can scan if you want to use the mobile applications. If you're happy using the mobile applications, hey, by all means, stay with it. But if you want to get your data out of Authy, maybe have your TOTP codes in Bitwarden or in Aegis Authenticator or Google Authenticator, if you're just looking at getting the data out, then this video is going to walk through exactly how to do that. I'll leave a link to this webpage in the description below, so be sure to check that out so you can follow this. Okay, so generating Authy passwords on other authenticators. That says update. This might affect how easy it is to use this technique past August 2024. And there's a link to an article from The Verge. So we're now on February the 13th, 2024, and this will work. I've obviously already done it. I'm just doing a demo for anybody else that needs to do this. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure we've got Authy installed. Now we need 2.2.3 installed. Versions after that won't work. You won't be able to open the remote debug window on versions later than that, so we need to ensure that we're using that version. Now, unfortunately, if I open Authy, the window has opened. Trust me, you can't see it, but if I click on About, we're on version 2.5.0, so we need to go back to the earlier version, which is good because you'll probably have to do this anyway. So, coming down to the installers, there's various packages. We've got the macOS version, we've got the Windows 64-bit version, and we've got the Windows 32-bit version. There's also instructions for Linux as well. If you struggle with a Linux bit, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to address it. So you want to click the link and go ahead and download the version for you. So I'm on Windows 11, so I'm going to use the Windows 64-bit installer. So click that and download it. Once that's downloaded, then you want to go ahead and run it. Now Authy is a bit of a pain, and it's going to try and update to the latest version pretty much as soon as you run it. If we look at this, again, I know you can't see the window, but it's just OBS not rendering it. So we've got version 2.2.3, and if I run it again, we're probably going to get an update prompt. So what I'm going to do is exit Authy. See, Twilio is about to upgrade to 2.5.0. Okay, and that's the pain part of it. So if I close that, what we're going to do is go back to our desktop. I want to find the shortcut to Authy, which is here. I'm going to right click it and I'm going to do open file location. So the file location is open and you can see that we've still got 2.2.3 here. So I'm going to go into there. I'm going to drag that with the right mouse button onto the desktop. I'm going to do create shortcut here. And then I'll just rename that to Authy 233. Close that. So now we're able to not worry about the updated version. So what we need to do is right click on the icon, and we need to go down to properties. And if we pull the web page up with the instructions on it, we need to add the remote debugging port option. So if we scroll down a little bit, we can see if we set remote debugging port to 5858. So we're going to copy that. I'm going to just close this window like a minute. And then I'm going to, on our Authy 233, I'm going to skip to the end from where it says target here. I'm going to put a space after the double quote, and then I'm going to paste that -- remote -debugging port equals 5858. So we'll apply that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and run Authy again. So we've got Authy opened, and we're on 2.2.3, so it should stop mithering for updating. So if we go back into our browser, and we want to go to that URL, so we've got this, open the following URL in a Chrome or Chromium based web browser. So if we just right click that and we do open in new tab, we get this window, and it's got inspectable web content, and we've got Twilio Authy and worker. So this is the Authy debug section. So we're going to click on Twilio Authy, and you can see now, you can see the screenshot of my Authy, which OBS can't render for whatever reason. So when we're at this stage, we're good to continue and start extracting our data. So we need to head over to here, and if you can't see the applications, you can either drag that out or just select this right arrow here, and then we want application. So when this opens, we've got frames, so we want to double click that to open it, and then you can see this main HTML. So if we click that main HTML, and you can see the Authy HTML on the right hand side. So what I want to do is right click on this main.html and do open in containing folder, and it brings the console up. So if I just right click that and clear the console for a second, we're now ready to start extracting the data. So I'm going to go back to our web page, and say I'll leave this in the description below. The instructions, we're just following them as they are. So we can copy this code here. So if we highlight it, and then just copy that. So this bit here, it's commented out, you can tell with the 2 forward slashes, and it's got console.save data and authy.json. So if you want to save it to a file, you can do. What we're going to do is head back to our DevTools tab, come down to the console, and we're just going to paste that code in. And I'll show you how to work this. So if we do remove the 2 forward slashes there, so you can see it's now uncommented. As soon as we press enter, we're going to be able to see all our TOTP codes and the QR codes, so we can scan them in using, I don't know, Aegis Authenticator, Google Authenticator, whatever MFA app you want to use. So if we go ahead and press enter on that, so this is what we get. Let me move this up a bit if I can. So you can see we've got our QR codes that we can scan, and we've got this TOTP secret. So we can basically double click that. Now if you right click it, the only option we've got is copy visible style section, and you don't want that because it's going to copy all the HTML code and stuff. We want to double click that and then just Control C to copy it. So once we press Control C, just paste it there so you can see, we can paste that into any authenticator app we want. We've got the TOTP URI here as well if you need it for whatever reason. And with that, there should be another window open somewhere actually. Yes. So in the background, it will open, you'll have this Authy underscore backup.json. So you'll have this file that you can save, and that will have a copy of your JSON in there. So you can go ahead and save that and use that for importing into Bitwarden or whatever you want to use. So if you just go ahead and save that for a second. And going back into here. Now if I open that file that we've downloaded, you can see we've got the JSON. So we can import that into whatever we want. And this will list all the accounts that you've got. I've only got one on this Authy account, just while I'm showing you the demo. Now, in addition to that, let me just clear this console. If we go back over to the web page that we was looking at, alternatively, this code can be used to save tokens as a JSON file, for example, to import into Bitwarden. So if we copy this code, and then we head back over to our DevTools tab, we go down to the console, and I'm going to just Control-V to paste this in. And now if I press enter on that, you can see the JSON contents here. So that's another way of getting it as well if you want to. But with that, you should be good enough to get your TOTP codes out of Authy. Let me just switch this back. If you wasn't aware that Authy is becoming end of life, or you was concerned about getting the data out of there and getting locked out of your accounts, of course you can always install the Android and iOS versions just to get around it. But I hope this video helped get the data out and migrate to whatever authenticator app that you're going to use. If you did find it useful, please hit that like button. It does help the channel. And consider subscribing. There's also a notifications icon if you'd like to receive notifications of any new videos as they are released. If you do have any questions regarding this, or you'd like a bit of further help, then please head over to our forums. I'll also leave a link in the description below to the forums if you can ask your questions there as opposed to doing it in the YouTube comments, because YouTube comments are just hard to read. Then please do that and I'll look at them as soon as I can. Before you disappear off, I'm going to leave a couple of links to some more videos that you might find useful. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.